was it discussed, because there are several of these issues on social media, was it discussed as in an office that required that urgent arrest of this man in Homa Bay and brought to Nairobi? That's one question. Was it that urgent that we brought to Nairobi? Number two, you have said in your report that CCTVs are supposed to be in all these places, in the report offices, holding cells, interrogation rooms, for transparency. I don't know, because the problem we have here, and it's very serious, about the death of Alber. Can we, because for us to trace how you came from Narok to Nairobi Central Police Station, we need to have CCTV footage, if it works in the police station, so that we know what really happened until he died, because that's the real issue which we want to know. Thank you.
So you can first respond to the main question from the 4 members. Of course, the question I did ask clarity on exact date that the deceased was picked, because it's not adding up from what the father reported. Reminding you again, your team from Internal Affairs Unit has not. Oh, they're in.
They're here.
Who is he?
Honorable Chair, honorable members, good morning. My name is Barasa, representing the Director Internal Affairs Unit.
Why I had to take you all this time to come, and we did instruct that to accompany your boss?
I wish to apologize, Honorable Chair. I just got the notification a few minutes ago to join the group that had already assembled here.
Anyway, we give you benefit of doubt. Nevertheless, go on, Naji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and honorable members. First of all, I want to take this opportunity and thank this committee, and because these are important questions. Out of these questions, even out of these questions, they are also going to help us improve even on our standard operating procedures. So this is something that is good for us. And from here, we are all of us going to answer these questions with the clarity that is required, because as an organization, that is the National Police Service, we want to know those who committed these offenses, and we want to see them before a court of law and appropriate measures taken by a court. Because the National Police Service does not study for this. Police cells are safe custodies. They are safe custodies where those who have been found in any way to have contravened the laws are taken to await their day before a court of law. They are not holding facilities where suspects lose their lives. That's the reason why we want to get to know who are these who committed this heinous crime. Now, to go straight to the question that was asked by Honorable Kapodi, the officers who went to arrest the suspects by their names, Mr. Mohammed. So these ones, we are getting the correct names. We have them, but we are going to get them straight. And also, equally, we are also going to get the names of the officer who actually contacted the OCS, because we have everything with us here.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The names of the arresting officers are as follows: Senior Sergeant Sigei, Sergeant Kirui, PC Kenyoni, PC Rapudo, and PC Mwanzi, all of DCI headquarters, serious crime unit. Honorable Chair, the suspect was arrested from Homa Bay County and straight away driven to Nairobi and booked at Central Police Station. Honorable Chair, the time of the booking was 21:32 hours. Void OB 1360706 of 2025. And after the officers delivered the suspect to Central Police Station, the assignment of the booking and capturing that information in the digital OB was done by the report office personnel. And in this case, the details of the officer who made the entry was none other than one number 86999 PC Constable Mohammed Rashid Hilo Abdullahi. And in the digital booking, Honorable Chair, is a description. And he said, now Senior Sergeant Sigei, Sergeant Kirui, PC Kenyoni, PC Raputo, and PC Mwanzi, all of DCI headquarters serious crime, now booking a male suspect, namely Albert Omondi Ojwang, to be charged with the offense of false publication and is placed in cells by PC Mokwana, appearing normal. And that's very clear. Time 21:32. And down below you will find this small item on parties involved. No party was involved in this entry. Means this entry was solely made by the report office personnel. Now, Honorable Chair, the statement the IG gave on the aspect of the suspect having, hitting himself on the wall. And basically, the Inspector General relied honestly on the information that he received from the station. Why am I saying that? If you go to the digital OB entry again of, this is OB 9 of 8/6/2025 at 01:35 hours. The same PC Mohammed Hilo Abdullahi again made an entry in the occurrence book. What did he say? Now Duty Officer IP Nganga and the cell sentry PC Kimani have visited the cells and found, and I'm reading verbatim, more.
You have the extract of the OB, the one you are referring to.
Yes, we have.
You can supply
We
the
can
same to us.
supply, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm just reading for purpose of the Hansard.
Okay.
And have found most of them well, apart from the last cell where he found a prisoner, namely Albert Omondi Ojwang, who was alone in his cells, making a lot of noise while kicking the cell walls. That was now the information basically relayed to the Inspector General, which informed. This
From
was,
the as per the OB.
as per the OB, this was 0135.
0135. Which date? That is
8th,
8th. That's the 8th, eh?
yes. Made by the same report office personnel. PC Mohammed Hilo Abdullah. This was 0135. And then who contacted the OCS?
Before we go there,
Yeah,
that is how many hours from when was admitted? Or the last OB, when it was reported to be, everybody was well.
It's also about kicking the walls.
Yeah.
It's not knocking the wall with your head.
It's okay, let's not, just before, don't just answer me. From the last OB, when there was recorded that everybody was well,
2132.
21, then, so that is exactly how many hours? 4 hours? 4 hours. Quick calculation, members? From 2:32 to exactly 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours. So now the devil, the evil, had happened within the span of these hours.
Yeah.
Just clarification also. Can we get the OB number that was recorded?
Number, actually ask them to supply the extract of what
No,
they are reading.
for purpose
That
of
is
the
OB.
answer as he was doing, because he's talking about the two PCs visiting and finding this man kicking
The same man.
at 0135 hours.
Yes.
According to what was read earlier, he was found unconscious at 0139, 4 minutes later. That's why I'm asking, what was the OB?
135.
0135,
Yeah.
and then we can also get now the OB at what?
OB number 9 of 8/6/2025.
When it was, according to what has been supplied, where is this, when he was found unconscious, at which time was this?
139, Chair.
39, no.
Could probably read the next,
the early morning,
the
it
next
was
OB
reported
after
that by
that.
officer manning the report desk, they found Mr. Albert unconscious at cell during a routine visit. He was rushed, which time, because this is still 8th. Yeah, that is 139.
Minutes later, that's what I'm saying, probably you can read the next OB.
Chair, can I take you back again?
I'm not carrying the entire OB with me.
Chair,
just
briefly,
had
can I ask a question? Let's go back, and I want to know, are we saying that the arresting officers who brought the suspect here handed over the suspect safe and healthy?
Correct.
Correct.
Let me ask you before Ngeleche, this is the same police constable Muhammad Rashid Hilo, who reported at some point as per the OB to be the suspect well. Later, that is at 21:32, then at 1:35, he was now reporting that to be kicking wall. Then now, in the early morning, during the routine, are you getting checked? Meaning, there was nothing being suspicious or suspected. It was just normal routine. Mr. Albert Ojwang, in the early morning of the 8th, it was reported by the officers now, there's no name, manning the report desk at Central Police Station that they found Mr. Albert Ojwang unconscious at the cell during a routine visit. And this is now indicated morning, and it is routinal. 4 minutes, as per the sequence, it's like 4 minutes. Let's be honest, guys. You say you found somebody kicking the walls, then as per the OB, it's just a span of 4 minutes. Then you indicate here again, during the routine, as if that by the time people are going during the routine, it's like they were not suspecting anything. Everybody was well. So just come clean on that bit. And Angelica, you had something?
Before that one, there is also the OB number 136/07/06/2025 that is indicating 21:35 hours. But from what the DIG read is 21:32, a difference of 3 minutes. For avoidance of doubt, and also in this case every minute counts, it is good and clear if you make a clarification whether it's 21:35 or 21:32. Thank you.
Let me,
Chair, for avoidance of confusion, or for proper reporting, especially on issues of crime, there need to be consistency. So the IG team should be, when they are using date, time, let it be consistent from the word go, that's such a time, because we want to find out at what time did Albert leave Mawego police station, because he arrived at 21:17. So we want to know at what time did he leave Mawego police station, so that we can create the hours between Mawego and Nairobi. Then 2, was the digital recording of the OB at Mawego and all the police station, because that one will help us to know, because with the digital you can't interfere with. But Chairman, my concern on this, before I ask any other question, is that the IG team need to be consistent on time. Let them not report some on dates and they leave the time. Because, for example, the last bit of it, on after it was booked on OB number 090825 at 0:39 hours, unfortunately it was declared dead upon arrival. We need the time. At what time was he confirmed dead at Mbagathi? We will now check between 1:39 hours at the police station and Mbagathi. That will really help us. At what time exactly was he pronounced dead at Mbagathi Hospital, Chairman? Chairman, I've looked at all these things, reasons why I want the timing. The IG complained on 4th, there was no time. The OB, there is no time. A team was assembled, there is no time. This team went to Vigilant House to take statement, there is no time. The same team wrote to CAK the same day, there is no time. The same CAK responded to this team the same day, no time. Therefore, we need to know on this 4th, all these activities, if they wrote to CAK, was it electronic or was it manual? If the CAK responded to them, was it electronic or was it manual? And the timing, because that 4th, a lot of activity took place. Okay, Chair. Then, on the same 4th, the DIG went to DCIO. He recorded the statement. We need that time, and the time taken by the DCI to assemble the team. Because you can't assemble the team the same time, and in no minute you are at the CAK, and in no minute you are... So those timing are very important.
In the report, they say that the team from DCI came to record a statement
Yes.
at DIG.
Yes.
But I believe, IG, you are getting what he's saying. We need to look at that consequent time, that at what time what happened. See, that sequencing, so that we're able to tell who is telling the truth or where are the omissions, and it's very important.
And, I'm sure there's nothing hard in getting the entire extract of the digital OB, especially considering how weighty this matter is. It's not heavy, especially the few hours in between his admission and the time he was exiting the facility to go to Mbagathi Hospital. Yes.
Time to explain, Honorable Chair. Because
Just not please. Just point
No, Masara. Listen, Masara.
It's a bit one, a small
Masara,
one.
listen, please.
Okay.
Unless you are adding to what you did, so that we don't lose also track.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm just adding.
We are going to lose track.
Yeah, I know, and Masara, that's what I'm asking.
DCI may not answer some of the questions.
I'm just adding on what I've just talked about, consistency. This particular person arrived in Nairobi Central Police Station at around 21:17. There are things which happened. The OCS was called. Somebody recorded. It took only 18 minutes. Somebody leaving the vehicle, all this. It was 21:17, but it was booked by 21:32. Yes. So those timing.
So that you don't lose track. And take your cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
Let me
So
explain
just
this, Honorable
respond, and I
Chair.
hope you have noted. Yeah.
Because most of these things, fortunately, are documented, and the documents can't lie. I have said, Honorable Chair, the deceased left Mawego Police Station at 15:54 hours. He was straight driven to Central Police Station and booked at 21:35 hours. OB number 016/07/08/2025. I've said the details of the officer who made the entry, Mohammed Rashid Hilo Abdullah, of service number 86999, police constable. And he confirmed that the suspect was placed in cells by PC Mukwana while appearing normal. I think that is clear so far, Honorable Chair. It has not been indicated, but we can always get it. I'm just reading the extract from the digital OB.
So for record and for the media purposes and even for the rest, as per the record and your own submission,
Correct.
under oath,
Yes.
the deceased was presented to the Central Police Station in normal state, physically.
Yes, as per this,
Yes.
and it is very, very clear.
Okay.
While,
picked that.
while
We picked
appearing normal.
Yes.
And we are going to
Of course, he's not
you-
a doctor, I know, but appearing normal.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can know who has been physically.
And that is when you contacted the wife to
Exactly.
confirm his arrival.
Exactly. No,
Okay.
just before that.
Yes.
About 8 minutes before that.
Okay.
So that is documented, and we can provide an extract of that. Then come to 01:35 hours of 8th now. OB9. The same PC Mohammed Rashid Hilo Abdullahi made an OB entry in the digital occurrence book, and where he stated, and I will repeat, now Duty Officer IP Nganga and the cell sentry PC Kimani have visited the cells and found most of them well, apart from the last cell there was a spelling mistake when he wrote the word apart. He wrote apeton. The last cell where he found a prisoner, namely Albert Omondi Ojwang, who was alone in his cells, making a lot of noise while kicking the cell walls. This is an extract from the digital OB. It cannot be manipulated and it cannot be changed or altered. Now, I was looking for, Honorable Chair, a correspondence from the Mbagathi Hospital, but I should be getting it shortly. But we received a letter from Mbagathi Hospital confirming that the deceased was brought to that facility at around 2 a.m. while already dead. So I was trying to look for that document, but I should be able to avail to the committee before we end this session. On the no. Oh, hey. You see this entry was 0135? Yeah. The morning hours. So, who contacted the OCS? The OCS was contacted by Senior Sergeant Sigei of DCI headquarters. Someone might ask the Honorable Chair, why was it really necessary? Why did the Senior Sergeant Sigei contact the OCS? In the past, the station commanders have had serious issues, particularly when it comes to admitting of persons who have been physically tortured or persons who are sick or are not appearing well. So, more often than not, the report office personnel and the cell sentry will insist before any person is admitted, they will need a concurrence from the OCS. And there's no way a report office personnel would admit somebody in custody, somebody who is physically injured or appears to have been physically injured or has evidences of torture. And it is on the basis of that and after confirming the physical condition of the prisoner that the OCS now directed the report office personnel and the cell sentry to make sure the prisoner was booked. And that's how PC Mohammed booked the prisoner while appearing physically fit. There was the question of caving, the status of caving.
You go past there.
Yes.
From your own, what you're reading.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the deceased was alone in his cell.
From what I'm reading?
Yes.
Yes.
And he was admitted well in a separate cell, alone.
From what I'm reading?
And he was found kicking walls in a cell as alone. And of course died while, he was then of course taken to the hospital, now unconscious, in a room that he was alone.
As regards Kevin, who was earlier on arrested, investigations were conducted, the Honorable Chair, and as I explained, the file was forwarded to the DPP, who were directed that we needed to cover some outstanding areas, which we are working on. And in view of that development, the suspect was released and an appropriate entry made at Capitol Hills Police Station, and he was handed over to a person we believe was his wife by the name Evelyn Makendo, who countersigned on the remarks column of the Capitol Hills Police Station occurrence book. So that suspect has been procedurally released. As to the remaining others, we have not arrested them and we don't know where they are. Yes,
General, am I in order to ask something? I said this must be the suspects that were been mentioned by Kevin, and there must be among the 4, isn't it? I think it's so strange that you tell us that Albert was arrested and eventually lost his life, but the other suspects who were mentioned in the same breath with him, you're telling us you don't even know where they are, you've not even looked for them. Why was it important that Albert had to be looked for if they had committed the same crime with the people you're telling us you don't know where they are and you've not looked for them?
Honorable Chair, I think the honorable member is putting words into my mouth. I did not say that we did not look for them. I did say that. The first person we arrested was Kevin. We interviewed Kevin, and Kevin disclosed Albert and the rest. So the officers proceeded and arrested Albert while in Migori. The next logical course of action before this incident happened was for the officers now to go and look for the remaining. So it was being done, the investigation was being done systematically and not in a helter-skelter manner. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I'm taking too much time on this.
Okay, but I think you responded.
Yes, no.
That of the 4,
we've been mentioned as having committed the same crime. We are 4 of us. I would have expected that we are all brought in at the same time, but that didn't happen. Albert was brought in. So how many days have has passed since Albert was brought in that the other people are still hanging out?
That's not your observation on that.
For the same crime.
It's okay, Buirosa. The IG, the DCI had responded to that there are 4 suspects, 2 had been interviewed, including the one who is deceased. On the reason why, who started first, who was taken in first, just hold.
Chair, it's only Albert who was interviewed. The other one is the one who reported.
Kindly,
the other 4.
Please.
Now I'm just making a correction.
It's okay.
Kevin is the one who mentioned the other 4. So he has been acquitted. He's been released. But of the other 4 that were mentioned, it was only Albert who had been called and interrogated and obviously has died. Okay. The other 3 have not appeared yet.
I think you had made your point that you had 4 mentioned, including Albert, who is deceased. The one was interviewed, the rest you were to go to interview the rest. I think you made it clear. Yeah. The reason why this started first, I think we can. How many other questions pending? Is already 1. Midday. The question from the rest of members, kindly, because we still have a power to come in. Respond to Sigei, Ngeleche. I'll give you. So let's exhaust the question that were earlier asked by members. And that's why I was like, I don't want them to lose the track of the questions. I think Ngeleche did ask a question.
My questions were not answered, so I hope they'll be answered. Because I asked IG, why isn't it important that the DIG should step aside to allow for effective and meaningful investigations to go on?
Well, it's okay. I'm sure they're noting. But now let's also understand that we need to give them time. Yeah. If we keep every other time, then we may lose track of the question.
In fact, Chairman.
And even the rest of members have not even asked questions. Yes, please, Buiu. So please, IG or DIG, you respond to the rest of members so that we take the last round, so that we get also a power in. I had mentioned earlier that we need to have a bit of a report to be submitted to Parliament in the noon before the budget is read. Even part of what I think.
A small and follow-up question on those ones who have not been arrested, because these are crime committed. Now, do you intend to pursue the remaining 3 for arrest? Because you cannot suspend because of what has happened. The DCI has clearly stated that all of them are on queue. So I believe that he is still going on and to get the rest. Then there was this question about the officers who are on duty at the Central Police Station then.
and why they were interdicted. I did that to allow, and I did indicate from the word go that myself as the Inspector General and the leadership of the police and even the entire National Police Service, we are very much interested to get to know who are these or who is this who committed this heinous crime. For that reason, the officers who were on duty at that particular time when the late Albert Ojwang was brought in were interdicted to pave way for the investigations which we want to be done expeditiously. All of us, the Kenyan people, are interested to get to know. So basically that is the reason why these are the people, the officers who are on duty, they step aside to allow for that investigation. And that is exactly what happened, because they were there when all these issues that we are discussing here happened. Thank you, Chair. There was this question about the CCTV footage. Yes, at the Central Police Station, we have CCTV. Currently, as I did indicate, the investigations are ongoing, being carried out by the IPOA. While we were at Senate yesterday, it was mentioned that the power of one of the CCTVs had actually been plucked off. However, the experts are looking at the hard drive and to reconstruct everything. So I believe we are also going to get a lot of information. The investigators are going to get a lot of information from the CCTV. And number two, we are also going to get to know who is this that unplugged the power from the power source. So all that is subject to that investigation that is currently ongoing. The question by Honorable Losabuyu on do you think DIG KBS should step aside to allow for investigations?
The urgency of sending these officers to go to Migori, Homa Bay, was it discussed before rushing to arrest? I think I asked the question.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, there was actually no special urgency in terms of the investigations of this matter. Like I said, there was no preferential treatment accorded to the complainant whatsoever. This was a complaint raised. It was a complaint touching on the integrity of a person none other than the Deputy Inspector General, KPC, Kenya Police Service. So there was no special urgency where we feel that
maybe this year, earlier on that point, was this complaint raised verbally or it was a written complaint that we should actually have before us to actually confirm for ourselves that as a Kenyan he had the right to complain. But it must be there for you to take all that action which you have tried to explain to us.
it was a written complaint, Honorable Chair, which at the end of this session we'll be glad to share with the committee. Otherwise, in our service standing orders, unlike all other cases, we always emphasize on the need to expedite our investigations. And that is part of our performance contract, that we urge our officers to make sure that all cases reported must, in as much as possible, be expedited. But like I said, we did not accord the matter of DIG Lagat any special preference. As regards what I mentioned, Honorable Chair, the letter from the medical officer Mbagathi County Hospital, we received the letter dated 8th of June 2025. Name Albert Ojwang Omondi, gender male. The above named patient brought in by policemen from Central Police Station at about 2 a.m. On examination, he was unresponsive, no spontaneous breathing, no cardiac activity. The entire body was cold, face swollen, multiple bruises, scalp cut on the parieto-occipital region, and had bruises on the limbs. The patient brought in dead, notification of death form, field policemen advised to go to Kanja National Hospital Police Station and to City Mortuary thereafter. Signed by Dr. Shah Mitali, Medical Officer, Mbagathi County Hospital. Thank you.
The letter. So members, the three questions you from LHA, it was actually one question. I actually did ask even personally also whether this patient was really picked up on Friday or Saturday, because what the father said is totally opposite of what the police reported. Saturday or Friday?
The occurrence book, Honorable Chair, where we entered the arrest of Albert Ojwang at Mawego Police Station, and when he was transported from Mawego to Central Police Station, we have all the relevant occurrence book and we shall provide the extracts. Thank you.
Chair, I think one of my questions has not been answered. I asked him if the officer manning the report office desk, the name of the officer who is said to have reported in the morning about Albert, if it was the same PC Mohammed Rashid Hilo or it was a different officer. And then another question, the reason as to why I was asking why the officers who have been suspended is because yesterday at the Senate, DCI Amin said that CI Talam was a suspect. So I wanted actually to know if indeed they are somewhere in the investigation and they are already having leads on who could be involved, or it was because they wanted non-interference from the officers of the station.
Chair, also on the omission.
Respond. Hold on, Masara. Straightforward, either Min or IG. Question?
I can maybe attempt to why I said that the OCS is the principal suspect, Honorable Chair. The allegation of the deceased Albert banging his head on the wall came from Central Police Station, and he is the officer commanding Central Police Station. Why would an officer coin such a narrative? That's why I said, whatever utterances the OCS Talam is making, we should treat them with a pinch of salt. I've not said that he's an accused person, but we should treat him as a suspect, because why would somebody coin that allegation? Thank you.
Chair.
And of course, I think that is also in line with the act and the role and the powers of the OCS. I mean, the act put a lot of responsibility and power on the on the OCS in regards to suspects or any person presented to the cells.
Chair.
Is entirely responsible.
Chair.
So we are going to take the other round.
No, my
The
question
IG was just about to respond to my question about
point of
the
order, Chair.
DIG.
A point of order, Chair. Chair, we are stuck on
Order. That's what I've been asking for. Order.
We are stuck on 4 questions asked by 4 members, or questions asked by 4 members for all this time, and time is running out. When are we going to get chances also to inquire? And then some of the questions are really opinion questions which would rather be asked to the right people.
The IG was just about to answer my question before you started.
Okay, answer on the question of Buirosa, but hold please. Yes, and then Kangara, then we take the last round, starting from our colleagues.
Has not.
You talked about the fourth time.
The fourth, at what time did the IG complain to DCI? At what time did they form the committee? At what time did they write to come and took a statement from DIG? And then at what time the report to CAK? So
they have promised to supply us with the sequence recorded. I think that's what you said, if I got you right.
Honorable Chair, in our investigations...
In dates or gaps, it will be up to us now to make a ruling and observation on that one. So it's not a big deal. I think that's what you said.
That's what I said, Honorable Chair. Thank you so much.
You are going to have your moment, based on what is provided, to make observation and recommendation. Any gaps, then of course we'll also have opinion. You make an opinion on the same. So before we give you Kangara, then what about respond to what Buirosa is asking?
There are 2 questions from Honorable Lusabuyu. Number 1, the reason why the people of Kenya should believe that what we are telling this committee is believable. Let me start by saying that, as I did say yesterday, the primary information that we got that early morning of Sunday is that the late Ojwang had hit his head on the walls. And based on that, the first statement was issued based on that information. And it is for that reason the DCI have stated very clearly, why is it that this OCS prepares and dispatches such an information? What was his interests? So it is on that basis that the DCI has mentioned. And on my part, and on behalf of the National Police Service, and to the people of Kenya, yesterday I said, I'm very sorry for that initial information that was provided to the people of Kenya. I still remain sorry, and the National Police Service remains sorry for that. That is our position. Number 2, this is about the DIG stepping aside to allow for investigations. Only this one. There is an ongoing investigation by APO. And in these investigations, every person whose name will be mentioned is to have played any role that led to the death of the late Albert Ojwang must record his statement, must show his side. And it is on that basis, I believe, if the DIG is going to be mentioned, then definitely you will write the statements, and I believe it's on that basis that now he can be able to step aside to allow for that completion of that investigation. My submission, Honorable Chair.
Kangara's question? Did you ask a question? Okay, just before you do, I think kindly members, it's already a 1:15 midday, and we still have power. And I'd mentioned that we need to at least have a bit of report ready to be tabled in the House. So let's have another round, starting from the Senior Counsel, Kaluma. We go to Kangara, and our brother, who I think, did you introduce yourself even? Okelo.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, my name is Jared Okelo,
Yes.
Member of Parliament for Nyando constituency. I am here as a friend of the committee who asked on behalf of the Kabondo Kasipul Member of Parliament the questions that have necessitated the presence of the officers here. I thank you.
Liz Chelule.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And sorry for coming late. I am Liz Chelule, County MP, Nakuru, and committee
Let's
member.
have a question from the three members. Kaluma, Kangara. Gerald, do you have a question? Of course. Then I think we'll be trying to, let's go to be a bit precise.
Chair, the gravity of this matter cannot be overemphasized. It's a very serious thing and overwhelming. And my prayer would be that the National Police Service takes it as grave as we do and as Kenyans do. And therefore, Chair, I wanted to request that where you mentioned to us, police officers could have handled this Kenyan in any way, let us get their service numbers. This is in respect of all arresting officers or any of these officers, even the OCS Talam. We don't have their service numbers, so provide that. Also, Chair, where we have any references to documents so that we are able to, reconcile times and who could have been involved, let us have those records. Whether it is OB, let us have those records remain here permanently so that we can seal any material coming forth during the process of these investigations from, any possible claims in future of interferences with the records. But Honorable Chair, allow me therefore to ask the following now direct questions. We've been told that several officers were tasked to do this thing. In the course of arrest, there are officers now being involved other than those indicated to have been put into the team. And these officers are Senior Sergeant Sigei. He was not in the team initially put to investigate this matter. Sergeant Korir and PC Rapodo. Maybe a clarification on at what stage they were involved and with what particular role to undertake in the process. Number two, Chair, which officers among the arresting officers traveled with Citizen Albert Ojwang to Nairobi? Number three, which officers handed him over to the police station for reporting, which you indicate was done by PC Mohammed Ilo Abdullahi? Which officers handed him over? It is important to us. Number four, Chair, which officers took him to Mbagathi, complete with their PC numbers? And then, Chair, there is something that has been explained, but we need more information. IG, this gentleman dies, it is claimed he is found kicking, and it is attributed to self-inflicted injuries, of course now confirmed not. CCTV at Central Police Station, and there are very many of them, appear to be disabled. I'm happy investigations are going on to confirm what records could be available and who could have interfered. But what do you tell those people who say these were not mere coincidences, but clear attempts at cover-up? Lastly, Chair, who is in charge
of murder investigations here, because I see two aspects of investigations going on. One is investigations into the death of this gentleman, which will be a criminal case. And there is also investigations relating to police conduct, because it appears the gentleman died while in custody of the police, and so police could be involved. There are these two aspects. Are they both being conducted by IPOA, or there is an aspect IPOA is dealing with and an aspect the police is dealing with, and if so, to what extent? Chair, I thank you. Safe to say, Chair, that there are questions we would rather direct to entities other than these people. We want everybody who was involved in this death to be apprehended and to face justice in its fullest. Just as also we don't want anybody who might not have been involved to be brought in. So could you be circumspect? And in doing so, I ask my question, why is it that to date people have not been taken to court? Because listening to you, prima facie, there are people who should be in court by now. And I'm saying this, Chair, because unlike the other house where you were for a whole day yesterday, you know the powers of this house over you. Why are you coming before us before you take people to court when from your evidence we can see people who can be presented, even just to be held before the conclusion of investigations, and people who could be interfering with evidences outside there? From the material you give us, why have you not taken people to court? And could you assure us before the end of business today, now that you appear before the House, that oversights you? And IG, you know our powers over you are not like the powers of where you were yesterday. Can you assure this committee before you leave, that by the end of business today there will be action from which Kenyans can see that you are not treating the cases of some Kenyans in a different way from others? I thank you, Chair.
So much. IG, I think what Kaluma has raised is very crucial. And just to put it very precisely, is that we have already a list of suspects. I think that's actually to the DCI. What holds you back from having them apprehended, presented to court, and make a plea to courts to allow you more time to conclude the investigation, lest they keep interfering with the investigation? Because that is what has happened to the majority of Kenyans before. Maybe you can respond to that one. It's very key. You have already a list of suspects. Why haven't you apprehended them, present them to court, and ask the courts to allow you time to finish investigation? Yeah, they keep having them freely moving around. They may keep interfering with investigation and cover-ups. Let's say this, I respond to that one. It's a very straightforward.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Like you have said, this is a fairly straightforward matter. It's not rocket science. I have my homicide detectives. The main function is to investigate matters relating to homicide. In this particular matter at hand, Honorable Chair, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions issued a directive directing the IPOA to investigate the matter and forward the file to his office for his further police advice. Under the circumstances, Honorable Chair, we may not conduct parallel investigations because already IPOA is investigating this matter. And as you can recall also, there was a High Court ruling giving IPOA the exclusive mandate to investigate matters relating to complaints against police. So that's why even in some of the obvious questions, we were not comfortable answering them. And if we start our own investigations, by now we'll have been very Honorable Chair. But let's leave it for IPOA to
will be coming immediately after you.
Then there was the aspect of the documentations as asked by Honorable Kaluma. The documentations are many, and I would request that we be given time to compile all those documentation.
Interested with that one, so that we don't miss it out. But I think you had made it a point. Kangara, then we go to
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'll also be very fast.
Chair, just a short follow-up. DCI. The question, Chair.
Give him time, yes.
It was just on the same point, so there would be no point, Chair, to repeat, to come back. The question of investigation, I believe the DPP did not instruct you not to carry out the investigation. And according to the law, the National Police Service Act and the Constitution, the Constitution gives IPOA the power to initiate on its own or on direction an investigation. But at the same time, it allows even parallel investigation. And I think there are cases you can confirm which have been done on a parallel basis, especially because you have the capacity to investigate homicide. So I think that bit maybe is something that, as far as this committee is concerned, to get to the truth, it's important you use the power you have to investigate the homicide.
Thank you, Honorable, for that question. We have cases in point, Honorable Chair. Before I was appointed the DCI, I was the Director, Internal Affairs Unit. And the main mandate of the IAU is to investigate complaints against. And we will investigate cases. I remember I investigated a murder allegedly committed by police officers in Kisii. But when we were at the middle of the investigation, the DPP directed that we forward the file to IPOA to take over the investigations. So that is the kind of parallel investigations we are trying to avoid. And for this particular case, it was very clear, in as much as it is a mandate, the DPP directed IPOA to investigate the matter. Thank you.
Two straight questions, Chair. One is that when Lagat reported the matter to DCI, after your investigations, you arrested one Kevin Moinde, and it is Moinde now who mentioned 4 other people. Can you tell us why you decided, out of the 4 people who were arrested by Moinde, to arrest Albert Ojwang and not the other 3? Can you also tell us at what stage Kevin Moinde was released from custody? The other one, I think probably Masara was talking about the same. This matter was reported on 4th. A team was formed on the same day. You went and got a statement from Eliud the same day. You wrote to CAK the same day. They replied the same day, and the following day you're already in Kisii to do the arrest. Yes, can you tell us why? And that's why I think Masara was asking about the timing, because the events and the following being done in the same day is definitely questionable. The last one is that from the report by the IG, OB number 09/08/06/2025 at 1:39 hours is the OB that released Albert from the police to be taken to Mbagathi at 1:39 hours. The same OB, according to DCI, is the OB that reported at 1:35 that Ojwang was kicking walls. But the same OB number, from what you have told us, I'm sure it's in the Hansard. 09/08/06/2025 at 1:35, he was kicking walls in the cells. The same OB in the report that you have given us, 09/08/06/2025 at 1:39, is what released him from the police cells. Can you get a clarification, probably, Chair, and also because DCI was reading verbatim from the electronic OB. Can we also get the OB that now released him from the police cell to be taken to Magadi? Thank you, Chair.
I thank you very much, Chair. I am acting on behalf of the complainant, who is the Member of Parliament representing the deceased. And it is coming at a time when, firstly, is to mention that this death has really attracted the wrath of the entire nation. Coming at a time when the IG himself, in the course of his vetting, undertook to uphold the highest integrity within the police service. And you are actually blunt enough to say that there will be no more abductions and no more wanton killings. When IG, either your office or your officers have already walked back on this promise that you made to the country. Is somebody sabotaging your work, or it is the directive and part of your modus operandi within the police service, or you are taking us back to the police force which the new constitution ran away from? And I've got a few questions. At whose behest was the murder committed? Who was going to benefit from the death of this young person? Because the evidence so far, indicated so far, is that it is the police that perhaps committed the murder, or it was done within the precincts of the police station. So who was going to benefit?